Welcome to the Lost Chapters, where forgotten stories come back to life. Thanks for being here. It means a lot. And I promise you, what you are about to hear will open a door to a world most people never notice. A world that looks just like ours, but isn't. Stay with me. Before we begin, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss stories like this. We are building a community of the curious and the brave, and I want you there with us. Have you ever looked at something that looked human, almost perfectly human, but your stomach dropped? A cold sweat broke out on the back of your neck. Your heart started hammering against your ribs, screaming at you to run. Maybe it was a mannequin in a department store that seemed to turn its head. Maybe it was a computer-generated face that moved just a little too smoothly. Or maybe it was a person you passed on the street whose smile didn't quite reach their eyes. Scientists call this the Uncanny Valley. It's a graph that shows our comfort level with robots or dolls. As they get more human-like, we like them more, until a certain point. Just before they look perfectly human, our comfort plummets into absolute terror. But here is the question that keeps me awake at night. Every instinct we have is evolutionary. We fear the dark because of predators. We fear heights because of falling. We fear fire because it burns. So why do we have a biological evolutionary instinct to be terrified of things that look human but aren't? What hunted us thousands of years ago that looked like us? Today, we are opening the file on the imposters, the mimics, the entities that wear human skin like a costume, but don't know how to wear the soul. Let's start with a phenomenon that has swept across the United States in the last 2 decades. It usually happens in the safety of your own driveway, or worse, at your front door. Imagine it's late. You're winding down. The house is quiet. Suddenly, there's a knock. Not a frantic pounding, but a slow, rhythmic, confident knock. You check the peephole. Standing on your porch, under the flickering yellow light, are 2 figures. They look small, hooded, heads bowed low. They seem harmless enough. Your instinct is to help. You open the door just a crack. "Can I help you?" you ask. They don't look up immediately. They speak in a monotone voice, devoid of any emotion or innocence. "We need to use your phone. Our mother is worried." Or, "Let us in. It is cold." The air around you suddenly feels electrically charged. The hair on your arms stands up. Your dog, who loves everyone, is cowering under the sofa, whining. Then, the visitor looks up.
The black-eyed children, witnesses who have encountered them, describe a feeling of primal dread. It's not just fear, it's the feeling of being hunted. These entities don't force their way in. They need an invitation. They need you to break the rules of your own safety. One man in Texas claimed he opened the door mesmerized by their voice. He said he felt a psychic pressure, a command in his brain repeating, "Let us in." When he finally saw their eyes, those pools of obsidian oil, he slammed the door and locked the deadbolt. For hours, the knocking continued. Not faster, not louder, just consistent. Knock, knock, knock. When morning came, they were gone. But the man reported that for weeks afterward, his home felt violated. Electronic devices malfunctioned. He and his wife fell ill with mysterious fevers. It was as if the mere presence of these things on the porch had irradiated the house with bad luck. What are they? Demons? Alien hybrids? Or something ancient that has learned the best way to catch prey is to look like something innocent?
If those silent visitors roam the suburbs, something far more visceral waits in the wild. In the deep woods of Appalachia, locals have a rule. If you hear your name called in the woods, don't look back. If you see something strange, know you didn't. There is a creature here that defies biology. The internet calls it the not deer. Imagine you are driving home on a winding mountain road. Your headlights cut through the fog. Up ahead, you see a deer standing on the shoulder. Common enough, you slow down. But as you get closer, your brain starts sending you error messages. The proportions are wrong. The neck is too long, bending in ways that shouldn't be possible. The eyes are forward-facing, like a hunter, not on the side like prey. And then it stands up.
Witnesses claim the movement is jerky, like a stop-motion animation. It walks on two legs, but the knees bend backward. It doesn't run away. It watches you. Hunters have cold stories of shooting these things, only for the creature to not even flinch. It just turns its head and smiles, a human smile on a deer's face. The not deer falls into the deepest part of the Uncanny Valley because it takes something we see as peaceful, nature, and twists it. It suggests that out there in the dark, something is trying to blend in, but it hasn't quite mastered the disguise. It's like an alien intelligence trying to build a deer from memory, but getting the schematic wrong. Why would a predator mimic a prey animal? Perhaps because it knows we lower our guard for the innocent. We stop our cars, we roll down our windows, we look closer. And that is exactly what it wants. But the most terrifying, uncanny entity isn't a child, and it isn't an animal. It is the one that wears the face of the person you love most. This is the phenomenon of the mimic, or the doppelganger. There is a story from a woman named Sarah living in Oregon. She came home from work early one Tuesday. She heard her husband, Mark, in the kitchen. She heard the clinking of plates, the water running. She called out, "Hey, I'm home early." "I'm in here, honey," Mark's voice called back, cheerful, normal. Sarah walked toward the kitchen. She saw the back of Mark's head. He was standing at the sink. Then her phone buzzed in her pocket. She pulled it out, a text from Mark. "Hey babe, stuck in a huge meeting, won't be home until 8. Love you." Sarah froze. The water was still running in the kitchen. The man standing at the sink began to hum a tune.
The blood drained from Sarah's face. Every instinct screamed predator. She didn't ask who was in the kitchen. She didn't go look. She backed out of the front door silently, got in her car, and drove down the block. When the real Mark came home 3 hours later, they searched the house. Nothing. But the water in the sink was still running. This is the ultimate violation. The Uncanny Valley hits its peak here. We trust our family. We trust our partners. If something can mimic their voice, their height, their posture, we are defenseless. Folklore across the world warns of this. The Native American legends of the skinwalker, the Irish myths of the changeling, the Scandinavian fulja. Every culture, separated by oceans and thousands of years, has the same specific fear. The thing that looks like us but isn't us. So, we return to the question I asked at the beginning. Why do we have this instinct? Evolutionary biologists will tell you it's to avoid disease. A corpse looks human but wrong, so we avoid it to stay healthy. But psychologists and horror writers suggest something darker. They suggest that the Uncanny Valley is a genetic memory, a scar left on our DNA from a time in human history when we were hunted by a predator that used mimicry to catch us. Maybe they died out, or maybe they just got better at hiding. Maybe they are the reason you feel watched in an empty room. They are the reason you don't like mannequins. They are the reason you shouldn't open your door to strange children at 2 a.m. The next time you see someone and you get that strange twisting feeling in your gut, don't ignore it. Don't try to be polite. Politeness is a social construct. Fear is a survival mechanism. Trust your fear. It might just be the only thing standing between you and the lost chapter of your own life. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe and follow our channel. We have many more files to open, and I don't want to open them alone. Until next time, keep the door locked